Hello, Michele.
Hello.
So you're going to take us through some of the tricks that hackers use to obtain our information through a browser.
Yes, exactly.
So it doesn't matter what computer you're using or what browser you're using.
Exactly. These attacks are actually working on every kind of browser, from Firefox, Chrome to Internet Explorer or any operating systems, and also not only desktop browsers but also mobile browsers.
I see. So it's going to, hopefully, I'm assuming this relies on the user doing something wrong. This isn't something that can just happen.
Exactly. We rely on what is called social engineering techniques or tricks to actually, convince the user to click on something or do particular actions on our behalf. So in this case, for example, the victim is clicking on a link that is arriving from us, and as soon as she clicks on our link, we get control. As you can see here, we actually have a communication channel between the victim browser and our attacking machine. I'm using a software called BEEF, Browser Exploitation Framework. We can trick the victim to actually enter the credentials, for example, for a very famous social networking website, and just configuring the correct module in this way. And as you can see here, this looks quite legit.
And this would work with any social network. You can fake up any kind of dialog box, can't you?
Yes, definitely.
We're not singling out Facebook here.
It's basically up to your imagination. So you can compose this thing. And in this case, I'm entering my Facebook fake credentials. In this case, the password I'm entering is admin. And when I click login, at the same time, the information that the victim was entering in this form is going to be sent back to my attacking server. And as you can see here, email and password. So you are completely relying on what you can do already with a browser, and that's why it works on every browser version that use JavaScript. And as now a lot of websites nowadays are relying on JavaScript, it's not even very feasible to say, I will disable JavaScript, because like 95% of the websites you currently use are not going to work.
Is there a way to defend against this?
The very good way to defend against this is, for example, if you use Firefox as a web browser, you can use a plugin called NoScript, which actually allows you and alerts you when, for example, you arrive to a website and the website is asking you to load JavaScript from a different domain from the one you are.
You're basically saying, I don't want any remote control from this website.
Yeah,
kind of.
Kind of, at the end, indirectly, yes.
So this is using something called social engineering, isn't it? It's where you're being manipulated into giving your data away.
Yes, you are tricked to actually do some actions that you don't think are malicious, for example, and obviously that's something that the attacker wants you to do.
Because it's not like, we know not to enter our credit card number into something that looks dodgy.
Exactly, but for example, you can have these similar social engineering attacks that are actually context aware of where the victim is, and they look really, really, really legit.
Do you kind of worry about people using this
for malicious purposes?
Yeah.
The point is that as we use them in legal activities when we do penetration testing, it's not our problem if someone use it for malicious purposes.
Because you're using this
it's
legally,
like you're
showing people what the vulnerabilities are, and then they'll patch against it. So it's almost like this battle.
Yeah, it's always a cat and mouse game in security. They implement a new patch, they implement a new security feature, and then actually you study, you try to understand how it was made, and then you find a bypass for it, then they know about the bypass and they implement another patch on it. It's something about that. Usually, bad guys win, but usually.